I should be live. Hello, everybody. Not watching because nobody's watching from the minute I start.
Are
But you,
you kidding me? My headset's dying.
but you have to fake that everybody's watching.
Is my video up already?
Oh,
Or do you have my video on your stream?
um, I am going to look for my stream right now.
Okay.
Not looking all too right from OBS out.
It would appear that I forgot to plug my headset in earlier.
Oh no, that's what you get with wireless headsets. I mean, wire all the
Yeah.
way. But at least most of the good wireless one do give you an option for wire.
Yeah.
Because if you have like one of those cheaper ones and the battery dies on those, you're fucked.
Okay.
It appears that I have everything on. It's just laggy a little bit, but that's normal. Video stream.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Is my. Oh, would you believe that I
Like one
forgot
of
to
those
add my
cheaper ones and the
microphone
battery dies on those, you're
into
fucked.
this scene?
It
Oh
appears
boy.
that I
Okay.
have everything on. Amazing.
Yes.
I'm doing an interview, but you're not going to hear the person
Yes.
that's interviewing me.
No, not a bit. Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay, talk so I
Hello.
can make sure our voices are good. Is my
I
Oh, would you believe that I forgot to add my
I
microphone?
oh, this is so trippy to hear everything like twice, three times. Okay, I'm going to put that off. The stream is working. I'm
Yeah.
happy. Oh yeah, my ad is starting soon. And I have an ad going on.
Fantastic. Hello, Iron. Welcome in. So this is our good friend RPG over here.
Could you wait
And
1 minute before we
yeah.
start so that my ad wall is over?
Hello, Cater. Welcome in. Everybody say hello to RPG.
Hello, everybody. I'm using that new Twitch ad thing that they have going on, and it starts like a couple minutes
Immediately. Yeah.
after you go live. But for now, I don't hear people complaining, and I see like a 50-60% increase in ad revenue, so I'm going from 30 cents to 50 cents. I
That's a
make
lot of ad revenue.
I'm making it as a streamer. I can do this.
We're famous.
Oh yes, we are. Okay, the ad is over in a couple seconds. Okay, we can go. Normally the ad is over.
All right. So he is a little quiet. Okay. Well then, I'll crank him up. There we go. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for the people that don't know me, because we do get a lot of overlaps in the in the views, of course. Hello everybody, I am Mr. RPG, a small streamer, and I'm struggling with a chronic illness, something we are going to talk about today. I just reached my 100 follower goal in around 8 months, and I have Open to thank for a lot of that. Of course, he is a big supporter from the start out, so that's why I chose to do my 100 special with him. I find it very special that what he did for me. So a way of thanking him.
Thank you.
And hello,
So,
Celea.
hello, Salaya. Hello, hello. So, I didn't add any questions to the list that you gave me.
Yeah, I just gave
I'm gonna
you.
go off of there. I like the list. They're good questions. I'm gonna just go off there, and whatever questions come up, we'll talk about. And
Yeah,
chat, feel free if you have any questions about it, type them in chat. We'll ask them.
the same with the people that watching me. Just ask anything. That's what this is about. The purpose of this is also uploading it to YouTube for people with similar diseases and all of that to find something that is not medical research, but just somebody actually talking about it because it's damn hard to find that about a certain kind of disease.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is small fiber?
It is a big story and a small story. I'm going to give you the small one. So
Okay.
the body has a difference in two kind of nerves and fibers. You have the big ones that we use to move around and everything, and you use conscious. You think about it and you use it. You think I'm going to set a step forward, you do that. Then you have the small ones. That's basically everything else. So everything that runs on its own and all of that stuff, and it mostly sits in the skin or around the organs and all of that. And what I have is instead of breaking down the big ones, what normally happens breaks down the small one. That's in a nutshell what it actually is, and what it causes is, of course, pain, like most nerve damage. And it is nerve damage, but because it's so close to the skin, everything that touches me will eventually hurt me, including clothes that I wear every day, all of that. There is at the moment that I do not get pain, there's another moment I don't feel something pushed against my body, and that's a weird feeling to describe, and a harder feeling to imagine. I've heard people say so. Don't try to imagine it, basically, because if you're not feeling it, it's basically impossible to imagine it.
Okay. So I would assume that that goes for touching yourself, like just putting your hands together, whatever. That also
Yeah,
is just any contact.
it's everything. A couple of days ago, in the beginning of the week, I was in the hospital for getting my medicine, and I had a lady sitting across me. She really has trouble just sitting down. She was like, "Well, I've sit down now for 2 hours to get the medicine, and that hurts like hell for her just to sit down, even on like a soft chair and everything, making it comfortable what you want." Or if you have like, you will also become how do I say that in English? Hypersensitive, sensitive. So
Hypersensitive, yeah.
yeah, you will feel a lot more. So when the pain increases and that sensitivity increases, it's hard to just find any peace, because if you go lay down on bed because you have back pain, for example, you still are pushing against yourself. So you have people that cannot sleep with bed covers on them at all anymore. Things like that. It depends from person to person, but you can have like horror stories
It does not sound fun.
and not at
That
all.
doesn't sound fun at all. I
Oh,
mean, I've been around long enough. I've seen you suffering, and I understand a little bit of how bad it is. But it doesn't seem like something that shouldn't be getting acknowledged, like what's happening with you.
yeah, that's a big issue, and because it is so small in my country and a lot of other countries, it does not get acknowledged as an official disease because they don't know it. That's basically it. There is nobody advocating for it, basically.
Is that why you think uh, nobody really acknowledges it or believes you? Is because it just they don't know, like lack of information.
A part of it is lack of information, but a part of it is also just seeing to believe, as how I like to say it. A lot of people are like, well, if I don't see you hurting, it doesn't exist. If you look at other kind of muscle disease, for example, because I am grouped into that. MS, for example, you see people getting worse throughout the years, going into wheelchairs, stiffening up, all of that kind of things. You don't see that with us. One day we can walk, one day we sit in a wheelchair, and nobody believes why. Nobody can imagine because it's the pain we feel inside.
You
Because
don't have a visual manifestation of your issue.
yeah, and a lot of
People can't see your issue. They just see that you are saying you have it.
yeah, they see a 20-year-old guy saying, I cannot do this, for example, because I have this. And they think in their mind, it's just late. That's what I get most of the time.
Yeah.
People are very visual creatures, I discovered throughout the years. If you cannot let them see something, hard to believe, especially something where you say pain, because my
Yeah.
my pain is not your pain, for example. It's hard to imagine someone else's pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, I mean, I can understand the why people don't believe it, but they're they're not actually going through the issue. Like
Yeah,
just from listening to you and being around, like I can tell you're not faking it. You're not trying to get attention from it. It's something that genuinely causes you discomfort and makes it harder to do things.
yeah, and it's not only physical discomfort what comes with it, but mental breaks you down completely. You have constantly pain everywhere. You cannot find a peace of mind. You have people everywhere shouting at you that it's fake, that it's not real, that you're uh, hurting yourself to mind and all of that. It's hard to find a clear way and a clear voice in that. And a lot of people that have this are very, very depressed. I've been very depressed. Well, it's a combination of everything. Wears you out mentally, having pain 24/7, never finding a rest, never a moment of rest.
So, is there a way to treat it, or is it more just managing the pain?
It's at this point it's managing the pain. The thing is nerve damage. If it's small or on the big nerves, it's not something you can stitch together like muscles. For example, they don't know how to repair everything. So everything what is damaged will be damaged forever. And thing now is finding a pain level that is acceptable to live with. Something you can put on the background because that's what good that's what they teach you. Put the pain on the background. Try not to think about it. Which is really hard to do if it's constantly there. And then the other thing is hope that it's stable. Find a way of living that you are stable. Don't wear you out physically. Don't wear you out mentally too much. Don't do this too much. Don't do that too much. Watch what you're eating. Watch what you're drinking. It's everything where you have to watch out. And this just say easy to put it on the background. Not at all. It's something that consumes everything.
Yeah. Have you noticed particular things cause it to flare up and be worse, or is it just day by day it has a mind of its own?
Uh, it it's a double answer on that. It has a mind of its own. Some things I cannot predict, but I do know. If I eat certain kind of foods, more successful to happen, like foods in the nightshade category, for example. Something that is dangerous that I have to look out for. Garlic, for some reason, opens up the veins. For some reason that not something to eat in. Hurts if I eat that too much. And also, if, for example, I get really mad, start yelling at everything, and really tension up my body, then the moment I start calming down, it's I'm strike, I'm out. So that you always have to try to stay calm. You keep you on the wraps. Make sure you're not too bad. You're not doing too much physical. If I have dogs, for example, and if I would go on a 10 mile walk with them, I know I will be paying for that for weeks on end.
Yeah, I would imagine. Um, have you noticed that just having the animals around, does that help keep you calm and like I guess alleviate some of the pain at least mentally?
Yes, very much. It gives me something to do daily because I am mostly stuck at home. So it gives me a reason to get out of bed and stuff because dogs need feeding, rabbits need feeding, all of that. And also the company and the love you get from a dog for incredible. Um, it keeps me warm because I take it with me at night. Even if I stay awake all night because I have pain, I know I have somebody with me. I have a cocker spaniel and he's really sensitive. And if I'm in pain, he really comes laying towards me, looks at me like I know you're in pain. I try to help you. Very, he's very protective over me because be, everything that happened it mentally wore me out, and I had suicide attempts, and uh, the last one I had him, and I hid away the empty strips of medications I took. I the medication. I didn't want to kill myself, but I wanted to find that peace of mind that is so hard to find. I had pains for and weeks on end, nothing could yeah get it down, and I threw them away somewhere. I knew my mom was going to watch and everything. Dog led my mom to the med strips and made sure that mom called the ambulance. And if it was not for the dog, my mom would have found it out like 8 9 hours later when she was back from work. It's not only keeping me busy and giving me something to do and everything, literally saving my life at this point.
Yeah, I know. So as I've told you before, my dad has a probably not the same thing, but something that's fairly similar to what you're going through. But his isn't a whole body, it's more of a specific areas that has the issues. And he's told me before that just having animals or pets around makes the physical pain less. Like they physically relieve some of the pain just having something around that
Yeah,
loves you.
yeah. I think it's mentally doing that, and your mind is the greatest thing in the world. Think a long time you have a pain somewhere, and you will feel that pain. So because you're so busy with those animals and you feel loved, you make things in your mind up, and that helps relieve the pain. It's the same when somebody feels in love. If they see the person, you start floating in the air, for example. So I think it's the same kind of chemistry that animals can awaken your brain. Like you love them, think they love you at least. So I think it's that kind of same chemistry that comes in out in your mind that helps gaining the physical pain down.
Yeah. Um so let's see here. I think I exhausted that line of question. um hmm. So obviously every day is not the same. Like we said a little bit ago, it kind of has a mind of its own. It depends on what you do.
Yeah,
Um, but like I'm imagining a day for me that's like a 10. Just I feel like crap. I'm hurting. Everything is sore. My 10 is probably like a 3 for you
that's
because you deal with it every day.
that's what people think, and that's something I discourage actually. Don't compare. You cannot match up anyway. Don't try it. I think just everybody's entitled to their own pain. I will not say to somebody, "Oh, only for a joke sometimes," but not like really mean it. Like, "Oh yeah, your pain is less than mine, so suck it up. I need to do the same."
Well,
I
I meant more along the fact of like mine is here and it'll be gone, but you're dealing with that level
yeah,
constant.
that part is true. Yeah, but I did want to turn that because that's something a lot of people think sometimes. Like, I cannot complain about pain, or when I say something, he's going to shrug it off and everything. Uh, but also the other way around, people. Well, when my muscles are sore, I can still do this and that and all that. Like, don't compare it because okay, pain, but it's a different kind of pain. Not all the pains are the
Yeah,
same, and it's relative to the person.
absolutely.
But yeah, if you have to, I hate that when the nurses ask that question, like, rate your pain because I have to do that each time I go to the hospital.
Yeah,
You could say where a normal person says A to the nurse, I would say 3 to a nurse, for example.
yeah,
Without context, it's really hard to tell that.
yeah. It is like they should almost be asking you like on a scale of having this happen to having this happen. Where are you?
Yeah, usually I answer like it's bearable. I can manage
Yeah,
it, things like that. Because
yeah, because everybody's pain tolerance is different,
yeah,
and the scale isn't accurate.
and you build up a kind of tolerance also.
Yeah, like a 3 for you might just be like, okay, I can push through this and I'm fine. Whereas like a 3 for someone else, they might be like, I need some medicine for it. And it's
Yeah,
not that your pain is worse or their pain is worse. It's just you
yeah,
have a higher tolerance.
and I notice a lot of people when I say like I'm having pain and all thinking like, oh, he's seeking attention. How bad can it be? Just take some pills and shut up. But my mom understand that like the moment I say I have pain, it's like, oh yeah, shit is going down. Say it like that.
Yeah,
That's not normal. You won't hear me complaining about some some little pain I have because I always have some little pain.
yeah. So, let's see. So, I don't think we talked about this. Like, how did you come to end up with it? Like, is it a genetic? Is it um just something that happened that triggered it?
Well, you can have it multiple ways. Like some part of it can be genetic for some people, and part of my family is unknown at all. Like the father of my mother, unknown at all. So we don't know if it may exist in that part of the family. But the theory with me is, when I was 16, I had meningitis. Very bad case of it. Almost died of
Okay.
almost died of it from that. And after that, the stiffness keeps was staying and getting worse, and soreness was getting worse and all. And then throughout an 8 year long journey, we discovered finally, like, hey, this is what you have, and we think it ties all back to the fact you had that meningitis. And then a lot of that journey also was just um convincing the
Excuse me.
no problem, convincing the doctors that there was something wrong with me, because I had stuff happening before that. My best friend was murdered, for example, like half a year before that, and all of that. And the doctors always were like, "Well, you're young. You have trauma. It's stress. It's trauma. It's that." And I was always like, "No, it's not that." And then they say, "Well, you had this and this happen," and I would get mad. And then they were, "Oh, you get mad from it, so we are right." That kind of situation. And
Yeah.
it was very hard to break through that. So it took 8 years to actually find a doctor that not only believes me, but also knew about the existence of the disease. Because that's a very hard thing to find, nurses, doctors, and all of that that actually know it and can help you get pain medication you actually need. So it was a long quest to end up here, and the only thing that they can tell me is like, probably from the meningitis. We were wrong 8 years. Sorry for that.
Mhm. Yeah. Oops. Sorry, we wasted all these years of your life saying the wrong thing, but the
Yes.
sorry is all you can get.
Sorry, we blamed you for your sickness.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did. The first specialist I went to see, I walked up to him. He looked at me, said, "You're young. You have a teenage stress. Here's some antidepressants. See you later." And out I was. I was not in there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's not right in many different aspects. Like, it's just not right.
Yeah, it's something that comes more when with older people. A link to older people. It's not usually that you get it on such a young age as I do. So a lot of the time, people were like, "Young, you're faking it. You don't want to school. You don't that or that. You just want to be lazy, sit around in the couch all day, playing games, watching movies, all of that." So it was a long time, and I'm still hearing that you're lazy. Get a job. Get this. Do that. Go live alone.
How how does it affect you with having jobs or going out and doing normal things?
Yeah, I tried to work. I worked for a part-time job for 3 years in a call center because I didn't finish high. I got sick in my last year a lot. Didn't had enough days to actually be able to graduate from it. School put me on that as well, but besides that, found a way into college anyway. So I was happy. I was like, okay, I did an education for electrician in high school. Now going to focus myself on computer science. I love to be around computers and cell phones and gadgets like all of that. That's something I can do while sitting down. How hard can it be? Failed at that after 4 years. I fall sick the entire time. I miss classes. I miss deadlines. I get stressed. I get more sick, and that's a circle. And then you don't get out after 4 years. A hard decision. I stopped with that, but with no actual paper to prove like I did something in school. Plus, like, what kind of a job can I do that's not physically intense? Because the only thing I had was a paper that says I'm an electrician. I can go into a building and put on your lights, basically. So I ended up with call centers. I was like, I'm going not to sell stuff to people, but to help people, like working for ISPs and all of that. I'm going to do that part time, and I did that over as a 3 year time period. The first month always went. I didn't get sick too much or even not, and all of that. And then higher stress of the job comes on it. You have to hit your targets. You have your very busy days where there's like 5 seconds between calls for 2 hours straight and all of that. So I get sick more. Then they start asking questions. What is your sickness actually? Because I was always upfront that I was sick. I was like, not going to hide that to people. That's who I am. They have to know that so they can decide if they want me or not. And it's
Yeah, be completely transparent about it.
yeah, and they always said like we don't make a problem from it. I actually went over the border of my country. I live in Belgium, and I went to the Netherlands where the disease is actually recognized by state and everything. So they would be more lenient over there. But they start asking questions, and I get more sick. Just fire me just because of that, or they make up a reason so they can fire me. I had like, well, if you're not going to work a 40-hour week, we don't hire you anymore. I'm like, I cannot do that. Well, you're fired and things like that. I worked on the help desk for Apple, for example, and of course it's run by another company, but still, they said, well, as an excuse, we protect you against yourself. We see you want it, but we fear it will hurt you, so we say you're fired. And they know I can't take them to court. They know I don't have the
It
money. They know that I don't have the money
it
for
makes
that.
sense in a way. Like I can understand on their end the why, but it also
It's not.
it's not fair.
Yeah, and it's not their call. Like, if you want to fire
Yeah,
me, don't say.
exactly.
If you want to fire me, don't say I will. We protect you against yourself. Like, no, you seem.
Pull me into a meeting and ask me, do you think this is doing more harm than good by being
Yeah,
here?
I went up.
Let me or let you make the decision for yourself.
Yeah, I actually went up and said I want to speak to the management that actually made the decision, but they just won't listen to me. I'm like, you don't do this to protect me. You're just doing it to protect your wallet. Because if I call in sick, you have problems with hitting the targets Apple put on you. They have to take so many calls. They have to do all of that. They have to pay sickness money and all of that. So it's covering your own ass. Don't give me any bullshit like we protect you. But
Yeah,
of companies that say, oh, we will keep it in mind that, for example, you travel with public transport. Because obvious, I'm not going to drive at all. I take very heavy medication. I can have a pain attack at every moment, so not very safe to drive. And then they start asking me for insane hours they know I won't be able to do with public transport. I
yeah,
be there at 7 a.m., work until 11 p.m., for example, and all of that. So they're pushing me like, go away. We won't fire you, but we'll make you want to go. So after, yeah,
yeah. This it's not right.
yeah, hey, no, I cannot fight it. I cannot fight it. I don't have money to go to court. I cannot work enough to make the money to take them to court. They know that. That's they play on that. I think it's very sad. But then, yeah, after 3 years, made a hard decision that no, stop working. It's not worth it anymore. Was harming myself more than ever. I felt my physical health going down a very slippery slope. Like when I was going to school, where I would go down a little bit or even stabilize the entire year, I would go down uh in 6 months more than 2 years at high school, for example. I was putting so much strain on my body. I had to decide I'm not going to work anymore, which is an issue at the moment because Belgium just don't recognize me as being. Uh, I say cripple. I know it's not the correct word. I don't know the correct English word. Uh, but they
Disabled,
disabled.
handicap.
That handicap. That was the PC one,
Yeah,
I think.
I got there. Yep.
So at this point, I'm just living completely off my mother's, but it's also still draining me mental because I want to put her through that. I don't have a choice. I think if I would keep working on, I would be almost in a wheelchair or even worse by now. That's eventually the end goal for me. That's the end. There will come a day I will have to sit down and say I can't do this anymore. I cannot walk anymore. I have to sit down. I have to sit in a wheelchair. That's very frightening.
And I remember you told me before that's a big reason why a lot of people don't want to believe you, because other people that have been dealing with this for as long as you are already in wheelchairs, and you're
But
still fighting your way.
yeah, that's true. They see in their eyes a healthy person of 27 that just complains about a little back pain. How bad can it be? But when I was 16, the doctor said 18, 19, and you will be in a wheelchair. I worked very hard to learn how to walk because I started having numb limbs and everything on the left side with my legs. I had to go to physical therapy for almost a year just to learn to properly walk on it and all. Every step I sat down is a victory for me, but it's also a knife sometimes because it makes it harder for people. If you have so much pain, how can you even walk? They say that's not the point. It's inside the pain that I'm still walking. Look at it at that point of view.
I'm still walking because I don't want the alternative.
Yeah. Besides everything I'm telling you, I'm still doing that. Isn't that incredible? Have at least a little respect for what I'm telling you. Like that's what I sometimes think about how people dare to talk to me.
Yeah.
It's insane sometimes. Also makes it harder when I go to the state and ask for money. That's one of the points they deduct to me, like, oh, how hard can it be? You're still walking. Like, well, I'm not walking for a mile. They say it doesn't matter if you can walk 10 feet. It's good enough in our eyes. You're healthy.
Yeah, but how much longer are you walking for? Like they don't take that into consideration.
Not at all. Not at
I
all.
mean, as horrible as it is to say, you could wake up tomorrow and not walk anymore,
Yes,
and they don't care.
they don't. Nobody cares about that, actually.
Let's hope that doesn't
Yeah, yeah, I really
happen.
hope so, but it's a part of me, and that's also a part that you have to push at the back of your mind. Because
Yeah,
if you start thinking about it, it drives you completely mental.
yeah.
You go crazy about it. Sometimes it is scary to go to sleep just because I have a lot of pain today. How will tomorrow be? Yes, will it be more? Will it be the wheelchair? It's
What is what do you think the hardest part about all this is?
uh,
What is the most difficult thing to deal with?
finding a little peace sometimes, a way to insanely difficult to find that. Always thinking, always somewhere. If you just sit down and try to concentrate on something else, you feel it constantly. Like, you know it's there. So strange. Just relax.
So, I just thought of this. So you were saying, um, to touching anything, any contact with things, everything hurts. Is
Yes.
that the same for going swimming? Like if you're in water, does the
Less,
pressure from the water does that hurt?
uh, less. I if I would go into a jacuzzi, that
Yeah.
that's something else. But like normal water, that feels a little bit better. It's easier to move that just because you don't have things pushing against you. You have a little bit of
Yeah.
freedom, and so like people that are very obese, for example, they do let them train into the swimming pool as well because they don't feel the kind of pounds they normally feel on their bodies. Same for me. I went swimming a couple months ago, and they had like a salt swim, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
salt bed in there, like in the Dead Sea, where you just cannot sink to the bottom at all.
Yeah. You become more buoyant.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so relaxing for me. Like a good hot bath, and I could just not worry about sinking, so I could try to relax as physically
Yeah.
can. I just fell asleep.
That's
I fell asleep on top of the water. They were like, "We're going to do the water slides," and all. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, just leave me here. This feels good." And when they came back, I was asleep. I just fell asleep on top of the water.
yeah. That's what I expected here. Like I know a lot of people with different types of neuropathy say when they go swimming, it's almost one of the best feelings because you're just free. That
Yeah,
the pain is not gone, but it's significantly lessened from what you're used to dealing with.
the word "free" that you use is the perfect way to describe it. You feel free. You can move without issue. That is, it's insanely weird to feel like that. And
Yeah, I would imagine.
I do know if I have a lot of pain, I will sometimes take a bath here at home just to lay like in nice hot warm water and everything because it also helps just relaxing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so we pretty much talked about this, but so the only thing that's going to happen is over time it's just going to get worse. There's no treatment. Um, you're
Not
just managing. You can't recover from
There's nothing at all for now.
it. And for now, um, do you know of anything like with medicine progressing as fast as it is? Have you done research on like up and coming treatments
Uh,
that might benefit you? Maybe not heal or anything, but
kind of
benefit.
yes, because I am in an experimental treatment at the moment. So I do go once a month to the hospital to get an IV, I think you call it in English.
Mm,
And they pump a lot of medicine straight into my veins. I don't know the English word for it. The stuff that they use to give you if they want to operate you, they don't put you completely under.
anesthesia,
Yeah,
general, or no?
local anesthesia.
Yep. Okay.
That's stuff. I get that pumped straight into my veins. So normally they pump it into your skin. I get that into my veins. Basically,
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
oh yeah, it's some strong shit, but man, you feel different after you had that. Like if you look at me now and you compare it to a year before, because I'm taking it for as almost as long as I'm streaming now, it's night and day. I feel like I went like 5 years and back in time.
That's amazing. That's good.
Yeah, it is very good. I just have to be careful not to overdo it myself. I tend to be like, okay, I have my freedom back.
Yeah.
Let's go do this now because I can. And then the next day, I'm like,
If
I could not
if
do
you
that.
had if you had one day where you're just no pain, nothing. You can go do anything, no repercussions. You're not gonna wake up the next day and feel the effects of it. You can just do whatever you want. What are you doing?
I can actually not answer that because they don't think about that anymore. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning, I held out hope, or I knew what it was. A day I don't feel this now. After 11 years, I cannot even remember how it feels to not have pain. So I would not know what to do. I think I would go driving because I want to do that so
Yeah.
badly. That's something I
But
would want to do. I
I
was
can I can relate to that in a different sort of way, but being able to get in the car and drive yourself is just so freeing. And
Yeah.
it's so great to have that level of control over something.
If I want to meet up with friends, it's like okay, uh, where and how do I get there? Where's the nearest bus stop? What are the
Hello,
hours of
Madam Diablo. Welcome in.
what are the hours of the bus? Until how late can I go? Oh, they want to go in the evening. I cannot go because the bus is right at the evening. All of that stuff is so hard. Or I start asking who can drive me, who can take me back at home. It's sometimes I do feel like I'm putting up a big burden on my friends just to meet with me. Like, can you come to my home? Can you drive me home? Can you pick me up? Can you do that? I know they understand, especially the friends I have close by now. Not the friends that I had in the beginning. Those were not friends at all.
If they're still around, they understand what they're
Yeah,
signing up for.
yeah, but it's like a part of my freedom got taken away before my life actually started because it started at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, my life is was robbed of me before it even began. At 16, you're not living, not in the way you're doing when you're an adult.
Yeah.
You just have to start with everything, just figuring things out. I had a vision for myself, and it was not this, basically.
I would hope not.
No, no. When I was 15, I was not thinking like, how would it be to feel pain every day? I think that would be a great career. Can I make some money out of that? Like, will I do e-bagging?
Let's monetize my pain.
Yeah, let's go e-bagging. Give me money. No,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm happy to hear that this wasn't your plan.
yeah, not at all. I had visions for myself. I had a music band. I was starting to get involved into politics and all of that. And,
What did you do in the band?
uh,
what were you?
a singer and bass guitar player. That's a hobby I had to give up. Sadly, I cannot play bass guitar at all anymore. I actually,
That's horrible.
yeah,
I
I still have my original one here. I just decided to sell it just because I held out for a very long time. I back someday, never came. I am going to sell it away because it hurts sometimes to just look at it.
I would imagine.
It's a dream that just went away before I got a chance to could work out.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, basically it's it's so strange. I go sleeping one day, healthy as ever. I wake up the other day and all went downhill from there. There's no indication I would ever get this healthy, social, uh, and everything. I had a life. I had my friends. I had a girlfriend at the time. I had everything I wanted as a 16-year-old guy. And it just in like 2 3 months everything went.
So, gosh, this kind of got a little bit dark and sad.
Oh,
Um,
we knew that that would happen. We knew that
yeah,
that would
I
happen.
expected it. Um, so how does this affect? We talked about it a little bit, but how does this affect you and your friends and your mom and other family having like meeting people?
um I lost a lot of friends because would not understand that I could not go to the parties anymore, this that anymore, and they wouldn't understand. Like they were young themselves, they didn't know. I went into the newspapers a couple years ago and won't imagine how much messages I got from people. If I knew this back then, I'm like, I told you it, but you wouldn't listen. But it's hard.
Yeah,
It was hard on my mom as well. She held out the belief that the doctor said. I think a big part of I wish my son can heal because what the doctors were thinking would go away eventually. What I have now will not. So I can understand why she wouldn't believe me, but it did put a very big strain on our relationship for those 8 years until I could prove to her, like, no, it is real. Yeah, I was right all along.
yeah.
And I would thank you, Seleya, that you're part of me for making it this far. She's actually, I think I met her around the time I got sick. One of my oldest friends at this point. Just so many just walked away after hearing that. And I have family members that still won't believe me, cannot face the fact that I'm sick. I'm not the happy go out young lad I was before. I grew up on a farm. I know what working is. I helped out on the farm. And
Hmm.
the person that took over that farm still won't believe that I cannot do that anymore. He's like, you're not even trying. You're not even doing that. Not believing that I did try, and it's just that bad. Cannot fathom it itself. So yeah, I have a lot of family even that just talk to me because of that. They won't believe me. They won't talk to me. I'm lazy. Nothing to them basically. Uh,
That's horrible. I
yeah,
family should be there
like
no matter what.
even my own
But
even my own father told me a couple years ago after my first suicide attempt. Well, if that's your outlook on future, because I told him like I don't know what to do anymore. I just got my diagnosis. I was like I don't know what to do. Yeah, well, go kill yourself. That's basically what he told me. Never, I stopped speaking after that with him. Like that fucked me up very bad. My relationship with him was bad before that, but oh my god, I did not that. That's
yeah,
like
that's
how insane
I don't know.
people.
I couldn't imagine that
Yeah,
because my dad and my father and I were just so close. Like growing up, he was never really my father, my dad. He was always my best friend because for most of my life, I guess not most of my life anymore. I'm older, but for most of my childhood, my grandparents raised me.
yeah.
So my grandmother was my mom, grandfather was my dad, and my actual dad was just my best friend that was there with me for the whole ride. He was always there. He was just my best friend. He took me out. We did things together. I couldn't imagine not having him.
Yeah, my parents are divorced, and that's how he should have behaved. Well, but
But
I,
on the flip side of that, my mom isn't really in the picture. So
uh, I know how that can be, but even after all of that, even if you have like a strain in the relationship, don't say to somebody, "Go kill yourself." Don't do that.
No,
Not at all.
never.
Don't do that. You don't know what that person is.
Yeah,
Never do
it's
that.
it does make sense. I don't understand why you would say that to anybody.
Yeah,
It's it's just not right.
yeah, and to continue onward on your question, then same, but don't do. Wait a minute. Oh, I wish I could come and drink that right now. I love some good eggnog.
Okay, sorry.
No,
It's
no problem. But
alcoholic eggnog. This is the only brand of alcoholic eggnog I like. It's wonderful.
to come back to then the question, it's the same with finding a girlfriend. Like all of my relationships after that failed, basically almost all of them because of that. Well, that uh, wasn't expecting it to be that bad or that hard for them. Of that, people that just wouldn't look past the disease I have. People that actually want to get to know me because I say I'm sick. So just my dating life at the moment because I am single. It's not only COVID that's making it worse, but saying that finding the strength to say that even is very hard because
Yeah,
I had people say to me like, well, don't mention it, just go on a first date or a couple of dates even, and then tell them. But I'm like, no, I want to be upfront on that. I want people to know what they're signing in for because if something happened when I'm with them, they don't know how to act.
yeah,
It comes out of nowhere because it can come out of nowhere with me, and but I notice the moment I say that they ask stupid questions and I don't hear them anymore. So that's and
mm,
I do quickly want to pick up on the questions Leia posed. Like, despite what I'm having, I still have the urge and to help people and find a way to help people. You ask why, why, or how I find the strength to do that. That's basically just how I am. I was always helping people before I was sick. That's something I wanted to keep doing. That's something that pushed me towards the call center world. That's what I did, for example. It's like I can still be of use uh, there. A lot of feeling useful that it's driving sphere for me. Like I don't want to useless person that's sitting around home the other.
yeah,
That's how people see me sometimes. I don't want to be that. So if I can help somebody, I will do it, even if it's just listening to them. It's it's hard to do sometimes. Stand up and say like I'm going to ignore my own and somebody, but I think at the moment I cannot do that anymore. It's the moment I will lose myself. Because
that's the person you are.
yeah, and the moment I actually start feeling useless, is that something I'm struggling with a lot. The sicker I get, the more useless I feel myself. And when you start feeling uh, worse and start feeling depressed, you start blaming yourself. I'm useless. Won't imagine how many times I've told myself that over the past year. It's something that I don't want to be. So how little it is, if I can help so.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good way to be as just anybody.
That's something that drove me a little bit to Twitch. I like to talk with people, like to listen to people, just try to give them a good time alone sometimes. I do notice it sometimes on the chat that I get that a lot of people come in and just like to talk to me about what's going on in their lives and all that. A couple ago, for example, I had uh, somebody a little bit older. He said like I'm autistic. I trouble typing, and he was a little bit of
Hmm.
embarrassed about that. He's like, I will be on the background, but no, I'm here. And I'm like, don't be. Just talk to me. It doesn't matter that your grammar is not correct. My grammar isn't correct and everything. And he slowly started opening up to me, and he started talking more and more in the chat. My chat picked it up and then start talking with him and comforting him and all things like that make me feel way because I'm like I made a difference in that person's day today.
Yeah.
So that I you could say I'm addicted to that feeling sometimes, but things like that does make it a little bit easier just to know like I'm useful. There are people that like like to come to me like me having around. I hear a lot of people put me on just to hear my voice because they like the way I talk in general. They like my I could be on the radio, some people say. So yeah, it's something I enjoy and that's why I think as long as I can, even if I'm in a wheelchair, I will help people. Not so much that I find the strength to do that, but that helps me finding a strength to go on
Hmm.
and fight the thing that I have because it's a fight that you have every day with you.
Yeah. So how? Let me let me try and figure out how to say this.
No problem.
My brain's not working properly.
It's heavy
um.
material that I'm talking about, so I can understand that completely.
So, like, one of your questions is, you're always at home, and like obviously, I know you have the animals and everything to keep you active. Like, what else do you have to do to keep going? Like, to keep from getting
One of the things that I obviously do is gaming. That's why I'm on Twitch. Obviously game, but
bored? Yeah.
I do notice gaming and reading, for example, are two things what were a, a part of me back before I went sick. But the sicker I got, the more I grabbed onto that. Those are huge part. I love music from an early age. I played music myself, so uh, even when the pain is very very high, I still try to relax with just laying on bed and putting on some music. Just that can help. So that are things that keep me busy, and of course the animals. But it does get lonely sometimes. It's very lonely sometimes because in the end of the day, you're day in day out surrounded by four walls. Don't get out. Your friends all work, all have a family of their own. It's
Hmm.
sometimes a very very lonely existence. That again is a point where Twitch comes in and helps me reaching out to people, not feeling so lonely. And because I know if I put my stream out there, I have people come in and say hi. I can talk to people all day, the entire day if I want to. If I want to do a 24-hour stream, somebody somewhere will watch.
Yeah. I know I enjoy coming in and just talking with you.
Yeah, and
and just hanging out.
I think that's the best part about Twitch in general. Not showing off how amazing you are at a game or showing how many games you have or just showing
It's the
things off.
community.
Yeah, and that's something I want to try and build eventually with what I'm doing. I do want to grow and start just a whole community people helping each other and where I know it sounds cliche as hell, but where everybody can at home. I
Hmm.
and I think especially for like example the person I was talking about, I think for people like that it could be very, very have somebody out there that tries to do that because every community says everybody is welcome here, but actually having somebody that understands you and be able to talk one on one even to somebody that understands
Someone
you.
else who is in that same community.
Yeah, it's so much difference to talk to somebody that understands you than just go into a community say I'm chronic I have a chronic disease. Everybody say, "Oh, that's bad for you," and just goes on with their day.
Hmm.
That you're welcome, and then they won't make a fuss about it, and you can complain a little bit. But if you do too much, they start getting annoyed, and
Yeah. And
that's
I remember, so the first time I found your stream, I'd been part of the Cove, which is where I found you from.
yeah.
And I'd been part of the Cove for about a week, and I hadn't been doing this for long, so I had all of my notifications on for everything still. And I hadn't gotten a notification from the Cove in the whole week I was there, and I was sitting at work. I didn't have very many people I was following yet. Nobody was live, and just all day, not a single notification. And then I got a notification saying that you went online from Discord. And I popped in. I'm like, oh boy, this guy is different. And I sat there and I was and started talking to you. I'm like, I kind of like this guy. He's cool, and it was just fun talking with you. And here we are,
that
however many days later.
that's that's amazing. Oh, he's different, but in a good
Yeah,
way. Oh, that fills my heart. But yeah, that's the image I want to make, and that's the community I want to make, where they know, like, okay, he can say the cliche things. Everybody is welcome. This is the one where everybody is.
yes. Okay.
That's the difference I want to do. I want to really put my heart into it. That's why I decided also to from day one start talking about my disease here on Twitch and actually make it a part of who I am. Because uh, for that I was very angsty to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Always afraid about how people will judge me. And I noticed the more I talked about it here on Twitch, the more support I got from the ones that already knew me and like you understand it and want to help in every way possible, even from across the world, like you're doing right now, helping me message out. So I knew like when I reach a certain point, I will make it. It will build a community that will also be like a great middle finger to everybody for that said I'm useless. Look,
Exactly.
look, I can still do this. I set out when I was younger to help people. That's something I will accomplish. Will always be working to.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's a good thing to do,
And I do
and you'll do it.
that's true. I do notice I have people coming to me saying private, I feel bad, I feel, or even on Twitch and now, I do notice that people feel comfortable talking about uncomfortable things with me because I put myself out there first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see a lot of people talking about the I feeling depressed when they go into random stream because nobody will listen to you when they're watching a live stream or when you talk about that. But I do notice that they're doing it with me. Now I listen. The people that are drawn to me, like you, do listen. I hope that that difference will eventually build a community.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I enjoy coming in, watching you play games and talking with you because
Yeah, and
a lot of the games that you do play are games that I myself don't necessarily enjoy to play,
but I make it
but I like
work.
watching them. I like watching them.
Yeah,
I also enjoyed making you play Neo. That was great
yeah, I still hate you for that.
fun. No, you don't.
But that's the point. It isn't always serious. Like a lot of those Neo streams were just saying and how engrossed I was in the game and started yelling at that stupid thing. So I hope that's entertaining for people because oh my god, some streams Wednesday alone. I caught a Mew and the Mew suppose is a ditto and everybody starts laughing at me. Or they start calling me Mickey Mouse because my voice pitch upwards sometimes. So it's not
They would
always
never. They would never do that to you.
so it's not always serious, of course, but I they do know there's space for it. That's an important message, I think. A, a,
Yeah.
a lot of people also on YouTube talk about mental health and do charity streams for it and all, which is incredible. Keep doing that. But besides that, they're not doing anything. Not making a
Yeah.
couple videos about it. Not doing a charity stream once a year about it. Every day working on it and every day making sure that people feel at ease.
Yeah. It's being inclusive outside of the media attention.
Yeah, and it's a hopefully a part of brand that I want to because I do hope to make this work. I do hope to give a lot of people a place where they home on. Also, the
Yeah.
reason I wanted to do this, like, if I go online and I search for my disease, something similar, I find medical research, some of medical, nothing I can understand. What I don't find, or what's very hard to find, person talking about their experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something on YouTube, on Twitch, on whatever, something more. Because it's a fancy buzzword in my eyes sometimes. Like throw mental health around and you use.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on YouTube, I feel that way sometimes. That
Yeah. There's a lot of um academic material, but there's not enough actual
yeah,
personal experience material about it.
yeah. If I go online and search for it, very hard for me to find a piece of the internet to call my home. So if I cannot find it, I
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if nothing else, you're cornering that market. You found a hole in this system and you're filling it.
that's what I hope that's to achieve. where everybody can truly be welcome. Feel free to talk about it.
So, going a little bit off topic and jumping back to a previous topic a little bit.
Sorry, I do go
Last
on
month,
rants.
oh no, it's fine. Um, last month or so, you got yourself two pigs. How are they doing?
Oh, those very well. Those are 2 months almost together with me.
2 months? Okay.
Yeah, end of August, middle of August, something like that. They're sweetest. I call them my outside dogs because they listen like they listen like dogs to me. Like really, they go sit, they give a paw and everything. I let them out of their cage. They go directly to the food like my dog does. They steal everything. The little rascals. Oh my god. They're my outside dogs basically.
Good. So I take it your mother has accepted the fact that they are
Yeah, they stopped breaking out, so that helps. Because
there.
we did
I
have
remember like a week or two after you got them, the neighbor called about them or something.
yeah, we had to capture them with the neighbor like on a Sunday morning because they just broke out of our little piece of garden and straight into their backyards. It's like, oh no. But they're so sweet right now. I'm very happy to have them again. I had one of those when I was a little kid, and to have
Mhm.
those back is very amazing.
Yeah, I was just wondering about them because I hadn't heard anything in a little
I have to post them on Instagram.
while.
That I do try to post, especially my animals on Instagram. They are such a huge part of my life.
Yeah, animals should be. Animals are the best part of anything.
Yeah, and if you look at modern day therapy, more and more centers and therapists and all are starting to work with animals. Taking more and more because they do notice that are easier in going along with an animal.
Yeah,
They want to do something with it. They see a dog, they want to pet it, they want to go to walk on a walk with it. Gives them a reason why instead of, oh, now I need to go to that stuffy old person and talk about my problems. Yay.
yeah, exactly.
And in my neighborhood there is horse riding for people in a wheelchair and everything. See the faces on those people when they
Oh yeah,
actually sit
I
on the
love it.
horse. It's amazing. It's the same when I jump into the water, they feel free. So yeah, I would recommend everybody just get it back. I mean, I even adopted some birds this year, and even they are amazing. And I let them fly out, and they come sit on my shoulder and stuff like that. Yeah,
So I don't know. I think we're almost done.
yeah. We
Um,
we can talk about
yeah,
other stuff.
you talked about differences between the normal and small. Um, yeah, actually, I think we've covered all of your questions.
Yeah, if anybody has questions out there, if you have some questions out there,
Yeah, anybody in chat have any questions for RPG that you are curious about on either chat?
yeah, I don't. That's a problem about me streaming so late. I don't have viewers right now. They used to me. They're used to me to stream up until the time I started this time.
Yeah, my girlfriend said she wants to see the pigs, so we'll need a picture of
Do I have a recent one? That's the question. Well, I will send you something in private.
Okay.
because my not now, but after this,
Yeah, that's fine.
because my mom is on it. But that's where you actually can see the pigs sitting down, listening to her. It's That's not something I want to put in.
Understandable. Yeah.
Uh, I don't have that much of a recent picture anymore. Yeah, the only one I have is those where I took in the beginning, and then that little video of my mom to actually sit them down. Oh wait, I have one. Let's see. Can I? I have to quickly. How can I show that through that link? Oh, through Discord. Down Discord. I'm still not using all this. Anyway, that's like it's weird for me to go onto Twitter and say, "Oh, I'm sick today. That's why I'm not streaming."
You actually have to announce your life now.
Yeah, it's very strange. Okay, let's see. Can you see that?
Um, I can, yes. Look, is
That him in the bushes. Literally, that's Billy. That's where you go and stand to pee. Look at that face. It's very funny to like he has so much space, and that's where he goes to stand. Because
That's funny.
the actual part where we will hold them is still not completely finished, so we have to get out on the backyards to go to the toilet and everything. So we're still working on that. What's called in English? That I don't know. Such a big
And
uh thing you put animals in outside. Meadow, pasture.
pasture. Okay.
So that we're still building on that. So they have their stable that they are in, and with their own section because there are also chickens and all in that. And then we leave them a couple times a day or a very long time once day, depending on weather and everything, on just on our backyard. Very funny actually. It's Uh, oh yeah, I got a question.
Oh, okay.
When you have a bad day, how do you get through it? Do you just lay in bed or yeah, well that depends. So if I'm still able to get up out of bed, I will force myself to go sit on the couch or in my chair and watch something or listen to that way because it's always better to still try and sit up to have your muscles do something. But if it's actually so bad that I cannot stand up or have trouble walking, I just lay in bed. I have a smart speaker so I can just yell, "Hey Google, put on some music." And I get some music because when it is that bad, yeah, that's a point that I actually didn't touch yet. If it is that bad, it's also virtually impossible to press buttons to even press the touch screen for my cell phone. So I do a lot of things with voice commands, for example. So I'm glad that we have Google Assistant and all of that. And
Hmm.
if I have the money, I will start investing, putting more smart home appliances in my home. Every room a smart speaker, and just basic things that I can plug all into it so I can say, Google, put on the lights. If I have a lot of pain, I don't have to press stupid light switch.
Hmm.
Because that's something I get too from people. That like, what if everything hurts so much? Why do you keep holding a?
Oh yeah, that's one we didn't touch on actually.
Yeah, it's Leia helped me remind me of that. Like, why do you game? Doesn't it hurt to hold a controller to press a button or something else? What people also ask, like, if everything hurts, why do you hug a person? Like, I love to hug my friends and all of that. I still like physical contact with you.
Mm,
But
you people, affection, gross.
yeah, but there are just some kind of pains you will allow this because otherwise you don't have anything. I will allow a hug because you want to feel the see that it brings along closest to your friends, your girlfriend, your animals because petting them some hurts most of the time as well. You do want to feel that. It's the same with gaming. You still want to do something. For gaming for me is a way to get outside of my four walls, travel to all different kind of worlds, be the hero I
Mm,
want to be, to say it in a cliche like that.
yeah,
It's
I get it.
so it is something you will allow, but sometimes even on stream you will hear me say, "Oh, I need to stop because it's hard to hold the controller," or depends on how I put my camera. You see me actually playing when I lay my controller down and just start doing it like a child that is just smashing keys on a piano, just because it's so hard to hold it. But I just want doing something. For certain type of games, you can play with the controller laying down and then start pushing with one finger on everything. And if that's the way how I need to play it, sometimes if I can do it, I will do it. Because what else is there if that's not possible?
Yeah.
And she's asking a lot of questions at this time. At this point, I think she's just got awake. So she's also asking how I react to cold, burning hot, and all of that. So because it is in my skin, my feeling of temperature, warm, cold, all of that thrown out of the window. It's very hard for me to decide what is warm, what is cold,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. Um, I could say I'm burning up inside, and I will be ice cold to touch, and all of that. But what I do notice is if you touch me with a big enough difference, warm or cold doesn't matter. It will hurt me a lot if the difference in temperature is really big. So for example, I'm laying in bed all warm and well, and I would have a girlfriend, imagine that. And she would come from outside in the winter and jump on and start touching me, like put her feet side to me, women like do. It will physically hurt me a lot, like insanely. Just the feeling of the cold hurts me. Very, very strange to have that. I don't feel it as well as other people, but when I do feel it, it's...
Yeah.
And then she's also asking, do you have some good things from sensitive nerves, or is it all negative? That's a good question. So it's not all negative, because things that can be pleasurable are most of the time also try pleasurable because to keep it PG, um, like your lips have a lot of nerve, and if you kiss someone you love, you develop some serotonin or how endorphin or something like that in your brain that makes you feel better. Like if somebody complains about headache and you have sex with each other, your headache will go away. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, somebody would kiss me on my lips, I do feel that way more intense than I used, and that is a positive because it does free up those chemicals in your brain, makes it feel a little. So it's not all negative, but the small things that are positive are very situated. Not like I can say I take some kind of wash and I start washing my skin and that feels magical. Not like that, which some people that are hypersensitive are because they don't have the painting. So makeup wash, for example, are very soft, and some people that are hypersensitive feel very different and they wash themselves with. But because mine is pain, that will hurt me. Some very situational, I guess, from somebody you love, of course. That's a big part of it. Will help me feel a little better for, let's say, example. And I think your brain Celea is awakening now because you're doing night shifts these days. So you're getting used to working at night. So it's nighttime here, so it starts working now. Like I do go to physical therapy, for example. You would think a guy pushing on my back would hurt a lot
Yeah.
if you hear my story, but it actually doesn't because they know how to push, of course, and it does give me a little bit of freedom back because things that are sore are better afterwards. So maybe the touching itself hurts, but the fact afterwards does make it better. I go to physical therapy once a week. Um, I actually heard, and that's something I'm afraid of to try, but I heard from somebody close to me also have this that ex I don't know how to say it. The thing where
Acupuncture.
yeah, I want to say the thing the Chinese poke you with needles. I taught myself English for the people that don't know, by the way. So sorry for the English. but
You're
yeah,
doing great.
but yeah, that I actually heard from people that helped them and that helped them feel better. Where I'm afraid because like it's puncturing your skin.
hmm
Don't do that to me. But they say like it's a completely different feeling than a needle from a syringe.
So yeah, on that note, when you're at the doctor and you're getting shots or anything, what is that a completely different kind of pain or
The
is
pain,
that
you have to imagine the pain you feel, but then just magnify to like a very great
okay?
thing. Like I start sweating a lot when I'm in pain. Or I start sweating a lot because of this anyway. So when the moment when they have to get my blood veins for the IV, that's different than like they do for pulling your blood. That has to be deeper in there, and they have troubles finding my veins. So sometimes they start poking around in it and twisting with the needle and all of that. And they are, especially the new ones, are amazing. Just they poke and the entire arm is just wet from
Mm.
instantly. That's how much it hurts, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm sitting there, "Yeah, everything is alright. Just hurry up." It hurts. It hurts a
Do
lot.
it faster.
Yeah, like
Jalea just had a good question.
not for me, but what do people need to do when you crash in public? Uh, call emergency. Basically, don't touch me. Call emergency, and hope that they know what they need to do.
So, do you have like a medical band or something to like alert
No,
people? No.
and the funny thing about that is when I cannot control the pain, I have to go to the emergency. And 9 out of 10 times, I start describing my disease to the nurse, and you see them typing it in on Google and searching for it because they don't.
Mm.
That's how bad it is where I live, especially.
So
And
on that note, if you even if you did have a like the medical band bracelet, would you even be able to wear that?
yes, just some same kind of discomfort as my clothes are, something you get
Okay.
used to. When I was
All right.
younger, I used to wear spikes, for example. So
Mm. Yeah, I just didn't know like because clothes are softer and they're
yeah,
I mean it's not like a solid object like the band would be.
but I used to had a smartwatch. It's broken now, but I used to have one, and I actually you have to touch that, so I was digging it more into my skin. Something you get used and get used,
Okay.
but
You learn how to tolerate it.
yeah, but there are certain type of clothes that I have trouble with, and I won't wear because just too much of a discomfort, like everything that's really gripping you or with tight elastic and everything. So I like to buy my clothes a little bit too big, they
I was
just
about to ask.
they
Yeah.
just slide on and off, and then use a belt if I need to go out in public for my pants, for example. But at home, I don't mind if it can drop to my ankles to say it like that. It's the same with my shoes. Like half a size too big usually, because sometimes my feet swell up from the pain.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts too much when they grip and all of that. So I do need to get that in consideration when I buy clothes. Like the material doesn't matter too much, because that softness doesn't affect it. It's literally the push that I get from it that
Mm-hmm.
affects
Just the
me.
pressure of it.
Yeah, because if it's windy outside, uh, the wind can actually hurt me when they push against me. It's literally the pressure you feel on your that does the trick. So it is easy to abuse because I had people using that, like ex-girlfriends that just are like touching me, and they know they shouldn't. They're angry at me, some
Mm.
all of that. So it's easy to abuse. Just one finger, you can give me hell. That's sadly part of it all. Like you have to be careful to so you close to you, because are always in a position, um, for everything you allow somebody, like giving you a hug, is you have to completely trust that person, and that's not always
Mm-hmm.
easy.
Yeah. I would imagine like the level of trust for just something as small as that
Yeah,
is just crazy.
yeah, I know on one of my recitation talks, I gave them a hand and all, and then after that, I explained to them what I have, and they were like, "Just gave me a hand. How bad can it be?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make with you don't see it, you don't know it. And then they start like
Yeah.
imagining how it would feel if they would have it. I'm like, please stop doing it. In my eyes, it's a little bit waiting to try to
Mm-hmm.
imagine that, because first of all, pain is so relative, and second of
Pain is very subjective.
yeah, and second is you as a human, something like pain, if you don't have it or didn't have it somewhere in your past, we cannot imagine it. It's very hard to imagine yourself in certain kind of distress if you ever had that happen to you. Like if you never had a bone broken, you cannot imagine how it will feel to break a bone.
Yeah.
It's the,
Yeah, exactly.
it's the same with. So I don't mind it when people say, "Oh, yeah, I can imagine how it feels." That's just a word of saying. It's literally sitting before me, staring at me, and imagining how it would be like in my stats. That is a little bit like
Hmm.
I'm not a monkey in the zoo where you can stare at. But
Yeah.
sometimes people do make me feel like that because they're just standing there or sitting there and just staring like, how would it be? Stop that, please. That's uncomfortable. Ask me anything,
Yeah.
but don't do that.
All right. Yeah, I have no questions on my end from chat. I touched on pretty much all the questions I had while we were going through everything.
Yeah, and you had some
And
good questions yourself.
yeah, it looks like Slay is all tapped out on questions.
Oh, but
Um,
she knows me well. So
yeah,
she knows a lot of this.
yeah. I would imagine. You said she was one of your oldest friends.
Yeah, and it's not something you can hide. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was staying with some friends. In the middle of the night, it's like, okay, do I need to call an ambulance or can somebody of you drive me? And it was just like instantly awake, like, oh shit, this is real. Standing up, driving me to the
Mm-hmm.
hospital without questioning like anything. They knew what they need to. Because if they would have said like call an ambulance, I could understand it's the middle of the night. But no, they were like awake and helping and doing it.
Yeah, and those are the kind of people you need to have around.
Yeah, and not the people that after 10 years sent you a message because they saw you in the newspaper talking about how crazy you are from pain. Yeah, that's maybe something I want to touch, but it's a bit of a darker subject. I did with that in my own language. Dutch wrote a blog like I want Asia, where I actually talked about uh, how I sometimes feel locked to my own body. That's a feeling that a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't understand, and how if I could, I cannot find anything gives me how do I say, a worthwhile living, a worthwhile life, something to do, something also something stabilize it, me less pain. I did now with that experimental treatment that does drive me like I already did suicide attempt because I just
Mm-hmm.
pains that went on for weeks. So that's also something that's always somewhere in the back of my mind. Say I will wake up tomorrow not being able to sit up straight, basically veg. What will I do? So strange that at age 20 I was when I wrote that, and then already I was thinking about it for years to actually say and write about how I would wish to do Asia and go out on my own terms instead of myself getting locked up in my that I already. Not something that I would go do tomorrow, for example. Of course not. But it is something always somewhere on the back of my mind that I do remember the moment I said it to my mom because I was in hospital. I fell on the street like 2 a.m. I was like, I cannot do this and it drives me crazy doing that. He was also that silence,
Yeah.
but I can honestly say finding those new experimental happy that it helped me because it is a toying cause at this point, and finding things to like to example does help out a lot. Yes, you read something to stand up. I think a lot of people are dealing with like this, are having trouble with that, finding stand up, I mean, and just go on. I
Yeah.
I've been very depressed and asked myself why do I keep doing this? Because a lot of people, one of the standard reactions you get, oh my god, you are so strong. How do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
that was just not enough for me. I don't want to survive till like age 60, 70.
Exactly. Yeah. I can understand that.
And what Silea is asking now, to quickly pick on that, for now, I never fainted from the pain. I do sometimes have blackouts that I don't remember anything anymore from certain time periods because it's all foggy pain and meds that I take. And one time I had a blackout where I did not know where I was. I did not know with who I was laying in bed. I was back with my girlfriend at the time. Like 10 years or so were just gone in a blink of an eye. Took me a couple
Mm.
days to remember everything. At a certain point, I asking her like, why do I have some happening that I could not remember at that? So there is a lot of strain on my brain. I do have
Yeah.
a very foggy brain, not only from the meds, but there are doctors that do believe are having a whole lot of pain. You have trouble uh, 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 remembering stuff. You have trouble dealing with information because your brain is so occupied with fighting against that pain that has trouble gaining information and storing new. So fainted, no, but sometimes it does. I just lost it. Cannot remember like that.
That's scary.
Yeah, and to think that uh, I'm not even on morphine. I take very high pain medication. Most of the people that I know take morphine, like oxycodone, one of the popular ones.
Mm-hmm.
But my doctors won't give me that because they find me too young. I can understand that because when I start with, there's no body
Mm-hmm.
built up a tolerance and you can only more. But there was a particular time that I learned to the doctor now I need that morphine. I cannot have. So it did drive me to do that, but I did not do it. I still take very high medication. Uh, I'm at least not in that territory yet. That's kind of medication I'm dealing with. So I think people hear that they can also understand why I say my mind is sometimes very, very foggy. So many things heavy. Think
Yeah.
I went to work with I don't know body like I take muscle relaxer, stand up straight and walk without where other people would not even be able to function. I take them like candy. It's insane sometimes.
Yeah.
And the craziest treatment that I had, that's uh, actually from a doctor. I went into the emergency room because I had so much pain, know what to do. They didn't know what to do either, so they told me how they asked me, "What are you doing here? You do not belong here. Go home."
Oh,
I think
that's
that's
what you say to somebody.
I think that that can classify like as crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A thing that I also get a lot in a certain kind of other crazy. Uh, when I do meet a girl and I start talking with her and I explain what I have, not all, but a lot of them ask, "What about sex?" I don't know why, but that's a question that so many times that I actually have to explain. No, I can still do that. Yes, that still works. Saying like how superficial some people be, and
Yeah.
how inconsidering, not thinking about make it sense that I asked it. Like I know you from Tinder, for example, for 3 days. I tell you one of the heaviest things you can tell somebody. Your first question is, "Does your penis still work?" I think that can count as crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, not even like, "Oh, how are you dealing with it?" No, like, "Can your penis still work?" Of course, I never hear from those and stupid questions and on with the.
Mm. Probably for the better, though.
Yeah, if you start treating me like that, I don't anything. It's also, "Oh yeah, I can help you. Yeah, yeah, I will respect that and all." The first moment something comes up, they just bail. Yeah, told me that you would be there for me. You're already gone, and it's not even the worst thing that can happen. Like I had somebody that said, "Okay, I can understand if you're having trouble typing, that you would call. WhatsApp, all of that calling isn't expensive
Mm-hmm.
anymore." The first time I did it, she was like, "Oh no, I don't want that," and you just said it a couple of days ago. Now I'm asking it. Now you're not doing it. But when you wanted to call and inquire about God knows what, I had to listen. But now I want to call with you to just talk to you normal. I just have problems holding the phone and everything. That's too much to ask. You'll hear a lot. I think that that's the hardest thing about having it, finding somebody that can understand it like that.
Someone who is accepting and
Yeah, a lot of people that
willing to work with you.
a lot of people I know got it at around 45 and upper. So they already had all established lives, and the moment I meet somebody, I have to do the same
Mm-hmm.
story over and over again. No, I don't work. No, I don't do. No, I don't can do that. And that's going to be a problem. So hard to explain that. A lot of people are so considering these things. They don't even want to know the person behind.
Yeah. Too many people are superficial nowadays.
Yeah, I'm 27. I want to start a family. No, don't want to leech off my mom, but I know the moment I will be able to that I will be a financial drain on anybody, because even if I would get recognized by the state and get some, it won't be.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants that. Everybody wants to be fake heavy on social media these days, basically.
Yeah.
Especially the people you find on dating apps. And problem is, I cannot go outside, so it's very hard for me to naturally meet somebody. So you think, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the dating
I
apps."
would imagine.
Yeah, you'd think those dating apps are amazing for me because I can meet people that way. People you meet that way are mostly just stupid, just
Superficial.
yeah, superficial, yeah, and just care about. I find that's one of the hardest. I'm now at a point I am happy with who I am, which was a very hard struggle to be able to say I accept that I'm sick. I'm happy with what I am now and what I can do now. That's just accepting sickness alone is not enough. You have to find a way to live with it.
Yeah.
And I am at that point now, and I do want to move forward with my life, but I do notice everybody's passing me by. Everybody's getting their family together and getting the work they. I want my friends to. Of course, I want something. I want that,
Yeah.
but one day, hopefully.
One day, everybody has their day. Years will come.
It's that if I can decide one lazy, I think it was a Wednesday to start streaming. Find it. It all started with me being like, I can do that too. Why don't I do it? Like I was overthinking it. It's just depressive and just always thinking I'm not good enough. Nobody will listen. How am I going?
I mean, if your brother can get people to watch him, then can too.
That was my mindset. Like if he can do it, I can. It's just yeah.
We didn't really talk about him so much. How does this affect him? Or does it really? Other than just being around
He had a hard time with it in the beginning, just like my mom accepted now. I sometimes need help. Also, of course, giving me that help. And
it. Is he
because
around or do they live further away?
they live a couple's far away, not that far away, but
Okay.
far enough. No, and of course he's 7 years older than 5 and all, and his own
Yeah.
problems. Plus, he also has a sickness. Not easy. I see him going to the same kind of problem as I did over the years. I wish I can help him sometimes too. That letting is sometimes the hardest part. Accepting help is very hard to do. But there is only one thing I cannot talk with him about. That the fact that I have euthanasia on my mind sometimes, and I do wish to have those papers drafted up for if something would happen because I can stand up, fall down because my legs start hurting too much, hit my head, get in a coma,
Mhm.
vegetable and all. So I do want those papers to be there so nobody has to go out on my turn.
Yeah.
That's something I cannot talk with him about. He's very sensitive about that topic. Like he was happy for me that I got into the paper, but he won't talk about that. But if I say to him like I'm not feeling good now, I don't trust to be alone now, and I know I cannot trust myself. Say this guy, he will be there for me. I think that's the most important. Just being there.
Yeah.
That's all I need. But when I got sick a couple years after that, out. He wasn't actually living here anymore. I finally got the diagnosis of it. So he saw the beginning of part where it wasn't that bad, but he sure has seen laying on the ground, playing all of that. So he knows how hard it is. I think eventually it will grab you, other, and he's very supportive on this. He told me for years now, just stream, just try it.
Hmm.
Eventually, I listened to him.
I'm happy you did. Like I
Me,
said before, I enjoy talking with you, coming in, hanging out, watching you play games. Or well, most of the time it's just listening because I'm at work. But
yeah, it, I'm again one of the best decisions I ever made. I think it's hard to make it onto it, but someday I will. I got here in 8 months now.
mm-hmm.
I'm happy with that. I know people do sometimes way longer but for having what I have already. Just
Yeah,
just being affiliate alone in 3 months is not an easy to do. So
yeah.
I'm very happy with that and very special towards me having
And
people.
you didn't really do Twitch before you started streaming, did you?
Oh no, I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
Not
So
even.
you came into it because I was thinking like I oh boy, hold on 1 second. What's my phone? My phone's at 10% and it's my camera.
Know the feeling.
Yeah. Um when I started streaming, I already had a community of sorts because I'd been watching Twitch for quite a while.
Yeah,
And so I had friends from chats and everything that just came through and hung out.
yeah, like you
And I mean,
have accounts with like 30 followers because they're just active in chats.
mm-hmm.
No,
And like a lot of my people from the very beginning, I mean, they still come around and I appreciate them all, but they're here less. And that's fine. I have more people and I get real excited when I see those other people.
yeah,
And like I do have some people that have been here from the very beginning. They're here for almost every stream and it's really nice. I love seeing them. But I made it in I made affiliate in 69 days, but I already had a community starting out and that's like, you know, 2.5 months. So
yeah.
that's was already having a group from the beginning and you didn't have anything.
Nope. I actually made my Twitch account on my PS4 because I didn't even have a capture card when I started. So I pushed the share button. I was like, YouTube or Twitch? YouTube or Twitch? Take Twitch. And I just went along with it, and I was like, oh, I enjoyed it, and people enjoyed it. Uh, See what else I can do. I had a friend saying like, oh, I have a capture card laying for you around. It's like the first HDMI model Elgato makes, so it's old. Does that matter? I'm like, wait, yes. No, it doesn't matter at all. Give it. And just build it up. I mean, I had a friend saying yesterday to me, like, oh yeah, I pop in a couple of times in your stream. Don't really chat. I just come watch for you for half an hour. But you really upped your quality in the last couple of months. I didn't do anything. Like, oh, don't underestimate the kind of quality you had of the way to feel to hear things.
Yeah.
But also like you come in, you give bits, you subscribe, other people give the bits, subscribe, all of that. It's amazing that people actually want to not only spend time on me, but hard earned money. Now I'm very close to my first payout of Twitch. If everything goes all right next month, I will have that very first payout. But it's incredible. It would have been this month, but I've been sick for 2 weeks almost in the last 4 weeks. Sadly, didn't made it. Like I'm five short. Everybody just five. I'm there. Basically. Of which Twitch would have done 80-20 like everybody's asking.
I
But
mean, even just anything better than 50-50.
it's not even 50-50.
Yeah, no, not.
Not
It's close, but not really.
yeah. But like
Well, it might be different for you in Belgium because they adjusted the ratios for different areas, I think.
yeah, but just like I know I asked you private first on Discord before I didn't jokingly say it on Twitter because I didn't want you to be angry at me at the end of Neo, for example.
Yeah.
But you actually saying yes towards it, where I was thinking like, oh, it's just going to joke around, but you actually doing it. That was incredible. And then look at how I reacted last time you did the patient. It's I almost teared up back then, and I was shaking when I told my mom like somebody actually gave it to me. So yeah, it's the best feeling, really, knowing I have my friends that come in. I make new friends like you that come in. I make a difference in days sometimes. So like I'm happy to see. I'm happy to hear you. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all I actually ever wanted. Be there for Twitch.
Twitch is one of the favorite things I've done.
Yeah,
I got on it years ago. I think my account was created in 2012. I don't remember for sure. And I was on it for maybe like a month or two then, just watching one specific person. And then I didn't get on it forever until just the beginning, partway through last year. And it's just been so much fun.
yeah, and what I always say to people is like it gave me my voice back.
Yeah.
I really got the feeling it just gave me my voice back when I was 16. I stood in front of the Flemish Parliament telling the politicians how they should run schools. I was a student wife activist.
Hmm.
I was on live television. I had a voice, and I felt swept away. But Twitch, it just came back to me. I naturally fell back into the role of talking to people and trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
Even if it's just with somebody feeling a little bit less crappy, I'm happy. All I ever
Yeah.
wanted to.
And it's when I first pressed that button on the PS5. Like I just got a PlayStation 5 and I was like, I'm sitting there playing games anyways. I might as well stream it. The worst thing that can happen is I just sit here and play games.
Yeah, what you
And the
already doing.
first time I played it, I was like, whatever. And then, like, I actually had some people show up. I'm like, I could make money doing this. And for like a week, it was like, I can make money playing. And ever since then, it's just been like money, whatever. Like, the people I've met are so much more important than making money
Yeah,
or doing this for the views or anything. Like, I enjoy the people that I have met playing or
yeah.
just interacting with.
A part of me is still about like I can make a little bit of money about this, but that's because I just don't have any other way of
Hmm.
gaining an income. I am fighting a court fight that is going to take 2 years to even decide if I will anything. everything coming in is,
That's ridiculous.
yeah, with everything coming in is more than I have, basically. I am happy with that, and but you see, I'm very touched when somebody actually does give me something. So it's not like I do this for the money, it's literally having my voice back and
Mm-hmm.
making people feel a little better, giving people a place on the internet where they can come and talk and be themselves. Because a lot of streamers, popular YouTubers are forcing positivity down our throats sometimes. Always have to be, always have to. That's not how life is.
Being happy all the time is exhausting.
Yeah, they have a new
Sometimes I just want to be depressed.
yeah, they have a new term for it, like toxic positivity. Because
Yeah.
it is toxic to be constantly thinking. Uh, I cannot have it so bad because somewhere in Africa somebody's dying. Don't have
Mm-hmm.
that's not a way of living. That's so giving people a place where they have to wear that I'm always happy man. Very important.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
and that's something that can only get usually with live stream. Have that live confrontation with your the live interaction with your viewer.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna have to wrap this up because my camera is gonna die in
Yeah,
a couple minutes.
and I'm getting tired too. It's like
Yeah, it is pretty late for you too.
half
It's about 1:30.
yeah half past one almost.
Yep.
But
So yeah, thank you for letting me do this for your 100 follower anniversary
th-
celebration.
thank you for wanting to do it. Do know
Yeah,
that you
absolutely.
do know you will be uploading to YouTube after
That is fine.
24 hours because Twitch affiliates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Twitch.
All right.
Make a
So
better platform, then you don't have to be afraid people go jump away.
yeah.
But really, thank you, and thank you
Yes.
to everybody that came out and listened. Hopefully,
Yeah. Absolutely. Um. You know. No, I don't think you do.
who the hell? Slay, I hate you. That sound alert straight into my ears.
I thought about popping the Star Wars Cantina while
Don't
we were
do
doing
it
this.
because it's straight in my ears
Yeah.
now, and those are very high. I forgot to readjust them.
Well, I am going to raid off to one of my good friends who started streaming the same time I did. Um,
I
so I will see you around, RPG.
Yeah, I'm just going to end because I have
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
I have almost
You
no
have
viewers.
you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, and you have a
Thank
great rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And again, thank you to everybody that came out. And I hate my sleigh. That was so loud in my ears. No, I love you. You know that. But dude, thank you. And I will see all of you here tomorrow for the regular streams. And if you have any idea for a Gaming 100 special, do let me know. Because I will be looking into doing something different from this as I'm going to celebrate it on a normal day as well. But have a good day or good night, and I will all of you here tomorrow. Thank you so much.